It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. Also live on Facebook and on YouTube. We're having the crucial conversations that Erie needs. On Fridays, we like to dive into arts and culture. And, of course, one of our favorite places on the planet is the Erie Playhouse. And with us is the executive director, Zack Flock. Zack, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be with you guys.
Can I call you John Medic?
You can call me anything you like, Joel.
All right, let's start with the Elephant Man.
Yes, sir.
You were cast in it.
I was.
And you auditioned. This is not like an inside job.
Absolutely not. And thank you for saying that, because I like to be very clear about that. Acting is not part of my job at the Playhouse. It's something I enjoy, as I know you do as well. And anytime I audition for a show, I'm going through the same process of any other volunteer. And, you know, I didn't know until the list was about to be published that I was on it. So I go through that same waiting game as any other auditioner. So
Can I just kind of send some love over here? Because the great thing about Zack is that, you know, not only is he a talented artist on stage, but he gets in the trenches off stage. Of course, he's in charge of the business operations. But, you know, you're back there. You've stage managed shows.
Yep.
You stage crew at Guys and Dolls.
Yeah, I
mean,
assistant
you were
stage
just
manage. I sub in every now and then. Yeah. Well, I mean, Joel, like any of our volunteers, I do it because it's what I love to do. I mean, there's the job part of my job, right,
Yeah.
as executive director. But I'm also, just like you both, and like I'm sure many folks listening, theater is something I enjoy doing, whether it's acting or directing or, you know, being on crew. And so, and also, you know, because of my role as executive director, if there's a gap that needs to be filled and if I'm available and able to do it, sometimes, you know, against my wife's better judgment, she'd like me to be home a little more sometimes. But there are also times where she'd like me to be home less. So it all balances out. But if I can jump in and help out, I'm always happy to do that for sure.
Let's pull back 30,000-foot view. We've had conversations, certainly during COVID and since, about performing arts in Erie and that recovery.
Yeah.
Talk about that. And again, even beyond the Playhouse, what are you hearing about performance?
Sure. So it's a slow process like any other recovery, right? It takes time. And the other thing that I think is definitely a reality we're grappling with is people's behaviors changed, you know, during and post COVID, in terms of, you know, how often they go out, whether it's a conscious or subconscious thing. We fell into different behaviors. You know, people started streaming a lot more shows and getting their entertainment that way. So, you know, it has taken a while. We've been fortunate that, you know, I arrived back at the Playhouse in 2023, and each year since, we've seen audience growth. It's not by, you know, huge numbers that we're suddenly seeing a major influx of, you know, ticket sales, of revenue, but it has been a steady increase that we're happy to see. It's not always show to show. You know, some shows sell better than others, but in general, we're seeing audiences come back. But I think in general, across arts and culture and entertainment, behaviors have changed, you know, and folks are maybe not as eager to come out on a weekend. Actually, interestingly enough, if you look at our data, and I won't get too wonky on you here, but it has been pretty true for the 2.5 seasons that I've been in this job, that Saturday nights tend to be our lowest selling night.
Isn't that something?
Which used to be the night, right?
Right.
Everyone's going out on a Saturday night, and now I think there's more of a, I'll go out on a Thursday because, you know, this isn't eating into anything else that I have going on. So Saturday nights, oddly enough, have been our slowest night, and Sunday matinees have been really huge, which is great. But yeah, I think there's just been changes in behaviors, and we need to adapt to meet people where they are.
When you were in college, bars were open until 2, right? You could have food service well past midnight.
Absolutely, yeah.
And hasn't that changed like crazy? When you think about that after show drink or meal, it's tough.
Yeah, and we've really tried to work with some of our local partners, bars and restaurants, to offer some opportunities, particularly on opening nights or opening weekends, to say, you know, Room 33, for example, has been a great partner where, you know, for Elephant Man, after our first performance, they agreed to sort of be the official after party host and keep their kitchen open so that our patrons, our cast members, I was starving after opening night, that we could go somewhere and the kitchen would be open and the drinks would be flowing.
But it's even a conversation now versus,
absolutely.
Back, was that 15 years ago when you were in school?
A little more than that, but that's all right.
It's amazing. Let's talk about Elephant Man. Sure. All right. Was this a novel first? Was it a play first?
Oh, I should know the answer to that. I'm not sure what came first. It is a story that has been told in multiple forms over the years. I do know that the play preceded the movie that most people are familiar with, and that the movie actually is not technically based on the play. It's a different script. Similar story. It is based on the real story of John Merrick, but different tellings of it. So it's not exactly, if you're expecting like a faithful adaptation of the movie, it's different source material than that.
What is the medical diagnosis of John Merrick?
That's a great question, and scientists still kind of debate exactly what it might have been. So he was born with, and actually there are differing accounts of whether he was born with these sort of defects or if they evolved kind of in the early years of his life. So to this day, there's kind of a debate as to what exactly his medical condition was.
The era is what, late 1800s?
Yeah, late 1800s. I think he was born in the late 1860s, I believe, in Victorian England. And so that's where the play is set. Yeah, so that's kind of where it picks up.
Everybody's got an English accent?
Yeah, English, and we're in Belgium for a little while at the beginning as well. So there's a mix of accents happening on the stage for sure.
And your approach is not necessarily to kind of reenact him, right? Tell me as an actor, what are you trying to portray to the audience?
Yeah, so what's really interesting is that in the script, the playwright Bernard Pomerantz specifically says, do not use prosthetics. This is not like the film version where film tends to skew toward realism. Theater tends to be more theatrical, right? So the script specifically calls for the actor playing the role to use his body to tell the story. So, I'm kind of physically contorting, twisting my face, my posture, my arm, my leg, the whole deal, to do sort of an approximation of Merrick. There's a great scene toward the beginning of the play where Dr. Treves, played by Howard Lang, is basically giving a lecture describing Merrick's condition. And over the course of his monologue in that scene, I transform from sort of my neutral stance into the character as he's describing my hands, my legs, and I'm kind of transforming in the moment, which is a really kind of fun thing to play as an actor.
That as well. You're kind of out there, Jerry. I mean, right? I mean, you're wearing a pair of shorts.
Yeah, I've been putting a lot of work into my physical appearance, but also reminding myself that I don't have to be the peak example of health or fitness. I just have to be comfortable. You don't have to
show a six-pack.
I'm not portraying, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? So I think audiences are understanding. But I will say it's been it was uncomfortable that first rehearsal where I'm in shorts. I don't want to give people the wrong idea here, but that first time stepping out onto the stage, actually it was for the photo shoot with Rick Klein, and I was kind of like, oh boy, here we go. We're in it now. So
amazing. Tell us about the rest of the cast.
Yeah, it's a relatively small ensemble, as most plays are at the Playhouse. About 10 or 12, whether you count the crew members who actually assume the role of orderlies in the show. Cool. So we consider them to be cast members as well. But it's a smaller group. Howard Lang, who's performed at a number of local theaters, actually making his Playhouse debut in this one as Treves. Jim Nash also making his Playhouse debut as Cargom. So a couple of new folks. And then we've got Karen Shalinsky, who's one of those kind of Erie veterans and such a great person to work with. I really enjoy our scenes together. And a nice ensemble of folks who play multiple roles in the show. So there are it's not like you see someone once and you don't see them again, or like in a large musical ensemble where someone might come on and have one line in one scene and then they're just kind of in the background. Everyone has their moments in this one.
That's really cool. Again, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend, right? You had a show last night.
We were back on stage last night after a few days off, and then we'll run tonight and tomorrow at 7:30, and then Sunday at 2:00 matinee, and then we're done. So this is the final weekend.
Fantastic. We're going to take a break, and when we get back here with Zack Flock, we're going to talk about this 2026 season of the Erie Playhouse. It's another barn burner. You're going to want to hear all about it. Stay with us. Talking the performing arts here on the Joel Natale Show. Zack Flock, the executive director of the Erie Playhouse, is with us. And Zack, you had a big launch party weekend back in August and unveiled the 2026 season. So let's go through it here. We have about 10 minutes. Let's get to it all.
Yeah, so we're calling it our Red Hot season because
Nice.
it is a season of red hot shows, high demand shows. You know, we always kind of keep an ear to what are people talking about, what are people interested in, and we're fortunate, as you know, to often be in a situation where the rights holders like MTI, Music Theater International, will reach out to us, to Richard Davis, our artistic director, and say, hey, this show is going to be licensed. It's just now becoming available, and we want to offer you guys a chance to do it early. So
I find that amazing. That really shows the level of excellence that the Playhouse has and the reputation nationally of saying
Absolutely.
They are saying, hey, let's get this to Erie.
And this is our 110th season, so we're not new at this either, which is great. We've developed that reputation that a lot of people right here in Erie may not realize. But when people talk about community theaters in the nation, we're one of the oldest. We're one of the folks who are fortunate enough in these situations to get those early offers for shows. So
Fantastic.
We're starting off the season with one, actually. And I'll give you a little bit of behind the scenes info. So we actually had a different show slotted to open our season. And as we were in the kind of prepping stages, MTI reached out and said, hey, guess what's available? If you guys want to do Mean Girls, apply and it's yours. So we're going to be one of the first community theaters in the nation to do Mean Girls. Of course, it started as a movie written by Tina Fey. And then she and her husband, who's a composer, were the ones kind of driving it into becoming a musical. And it was, a big musical hit. And so we're really excited to bring that one to the stage.
I remember seeing her on one of maybe the Today Show or something, and she was like really overwhelmed because they were writing the music to this, this story, right?
Yeah, and I was surprised to hear that it was, I'd seen the movie, and then when I heard that they were in the process of bringing it to Broadway, I thought like, oh great, it's been this trend lately of, it seems like everything that was ever a good movie eventually gets adapted into a Broadway musical, and there are a lot more misses than hits when they do that. So I was skeptical myself, but the album is out there for people to listen to, and
it's not a jukebox,
really
right?
No, it's not. It's original music.
Nice.
Yeah, and it works really well as a musical. So not all of them do.
So that's January.
That'll open January 30th and runs into February as well. So
all right.
That'll open off our main stage season. Then we move into opening our youth theater season with Junie B. Jones. Let me get this right. Junie B. Jones is the character from the books, but the play is called Junie B's Essential Survival Guide to School.
Nice.
So that'll be a youth theater production. It's a musical as well. And our youth theater program is just absolutely top notch. So we're really excited about that show.
These kids really will knock your socks off. They're so talented.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that's nice about the youth theater program is it's for students of all ages. It goes all the way to, students who are ending their high school career and a lot of younger kids as well. And it's nice to see the sort of like mentorship that kind of develops there as you watch the younger kids, or just, whether they're younger or just new to performing. They might be 16 or 17 and doing a show for the first time, and they're learning from each other, which is such a great thing to watch.
Wow.
And of course, our youth theater director, Annika Lexvold, is so good at engaging with kids and meeting them where they are and giving them confidence. And it's really great to watch them as a, former theater kid myself.
Right.
It's nice to watch, another generation of kids come through the program.
And that will perform when?
That's in March, opens March 6th. Okay. And our youth theater shows run for 2 weekends, so a little shorter than our main stage runs, but they also do school shows, field trip shows that tons of students come to the theater, and a lot of them have their first live theater experience seeing those shows, so we love that too.
All right, what's next in the spring?
After that, our first play of the year will be A Doll's House. It's actually the most recent version that was on Broadway, so it's adapted by Amy Herzog. It's a really...
Was that Ibsen?
It was, I was going to say it's an Ibsen piece, so updated by Amy Herzog. Okay. Still, true to the original source material. I think if you're a fan of the original, or if you, have more contemporary leanings toward theater, I think it kind of bridges the gap between both audiences. So
very cool.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun one. That'll open on April 10th.
So who's their strong leads? Is that a female lead?
It's a strong female lead. Ibsen was kind of known for being this groundbreaking playwright in that he wrote roles for women where they weren't just the sort of subservient wife, or they had agency of their own. And that's really the plot of the story is a woman kind of finding her own strength and her own power in her marriage and in her life. So it's a really powerful show. And there's actually a play called, this is a little side tangent, A Doll's House Part 2 that came out a couple years ago, written by Lucas Noth, that's meant to be a sort of sequel of sorts to it. Written, 100 years after Ibsen wrote the original. And my wife and I actually saw it when we took a trip to New York, and it's a great play. We saw it with Julie White. Laurie Metcalf actually originated the role. But it's a really interesting play that's out there too. So just if you're maybe looking for an additional read.
Neat. That's awesome.
Then we go from that back into youth theater. We have Once Upon a Mattress, the youth edition.
The youth edition.
Yeah, it's
that
great
Princess
when you can,
and the Pea.
Exactly, and we love to share those sort of classic musicals with our youth theater students as well. They I know when I was growing up, I was maybe focused on the more contemporary musicals that were coming out at the time. But then I think where I learned the most was getting into an ensemble of like a Fiddler on the Roof or something like that, where you kind of learn your basics too. So
I thought I was so funny. Shy.
I mean, Carol Burnett in the role, like just knocked it out of the park. So that's a great show.
What era is that? What month?
That opens May 8th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah. So then we go into the summer months. We have 1776 in June.
Perfect for America 250.
America 250, absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. So, one of those shows that it's been a while since the Playhouse has done that one, and we're happy to dust that one off. It's a classic in every sense of the word, and we hope people will really get a kick out of it.
I guess an interesting trivia point about 1776 is that supposedly it's the longest period without a song in any musical to that juncture.
Is that right?
It's like 32 minutes without a song.
Interesting. I'll have to time it.
Yeah,
during
time
the show.
it. Time it.
I will.
Because everybody remembers, like, sit down, John. Talking about John Dickinson, right?
Yeah.
Somebody better open up a window. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I think Joel's gonna have to audition for that.
I
one.
can't because it is the.
Wedding.
It's wedding season for the
Okay.
Natalis.
All right.
Anyway,
I guess we'll let you off the hook.
so that's perfect in June.
That's in June,
right before the 4th of July.
It'll actually close on June 28th.
Nice.
So the weekend before the holiday weekend. We try not to compete with the holiday.
You're going to have
There's so much
some
going on.
big male voices on that one.
Absolutely. It'll be
But
interesting to
there's
see
some
who all
great
comes out for that.
female, like Abigail Adams and
Yeah, and then actually the show that follows that is Hairspray.
Oh,
which
there
has
you
a
go.
ton of great female roles as well. So again, we try to look at the volunteer talent who's out there, all that kind of stuff. So again, been a number of years since we've done Hairspray. We're looking forward to bringing that one back. That'll be July 24th through August 9th.
It's funny. These last two shows have also been TV specials. Of course,
True.
Hairspray,
Yeah.
Hairspray Live,
Yeah,
right? With
yeah.
Motion in Devotion.
And 1776 was also
Right,
one
right.
of the main influences for Hamilton. So if you're a Hamilton fan
there you
and
go.
you don't know 1776, you should check it out. For sure.
Hairspray is in
Hairspray is July, end of July and beginning
in
of August.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then we've got a real big one, Joel. We've got actually opening on September 11th, Come From Away. This is another one where MTI reached out and said, we want you guys to do this if you want to do it. And we said, of course we want to do it. It's one of those shows that, it's contemporary, takes place in the immediate aftermath of 9/11. For those who don't know the story, of course, all flights were grounded, and a lot of flights were diverted to a very small town called Gander in Newfoundland.
This will be the 25th anniversary.
25th anniversary,
of
and
9/11.
this is that story.
You love this music, Shane, right? I
it's-
mean,
I love this whole musical. It's
Yeah.
possibly my favorite of
Yeah.
all time. I just love it.
I'm right there with you. It might be one of my all-time favorites. There are very few musicals that I feel, there are a handful of musicals where you can listen to the album and get the entire story.
Yeah.
But there are very few that you get the full emotional impact just by listening to the album. This is one where I feel like I can I've actually put it on before. This sounds weird, but I put it on when I've gone running before. And I'll be running through like Frontier Park with almost like tears welling up in my eyes listening to it. So, but it's a beautiful story. It's a hopeful story. I don't want people to think it's
Right.
just a
Makes you
sad
feel
thing.
good about
It really
humanity.
Is,
yeah,
again.
it's a
absolutely.
hospitality story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that'll be opening on September 11th and runs through the 27th of September.
All right, couple more here, right?
A couple more. We then go back into our final youth theater show will be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Nice.
Again, I mean, can't go wrong there. Like a beloved story and an updated version of that. So we're excited for that one. That'll be in October, leading up to Halloween, a play about candy. I mean, what's better than that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then back to our main stage. Our second play of the year will be Over the Tavern. That's a fun play that the Playhouse has done previously. It's been a while, and we wanted to bring back a favorite for folks, and I'm actually excited. I'm going to be directing that.
Oh,
one. So,
terrific.
yeah.
And then the Christmas one,
Then
but we
the
can't
Christmas
say
one,
it yet.
I will. Yeah, I will maybe tease a little bit and just say. So this is a situation where we have a show in mind that we want to do, and we've talked with the license holder, and we're hopeful that we'll get the license. But it's a show that is on a national tour, and we have to wait for them to decide for sure that tour is coming to an end before they make it available for non-professional productions. So we think we know what it's going to be. It's perfect that it'll be opening around the holidays, and I will leave it at that.
Don't forget Frozen this Christmas.
Yes.
Get your tickets now or pretty soon.
It is on sale for season ticket holders on Tuesday, and then to the general public on November 4th.
Thank you, Zack Flock.
Thank you.
Erie Playhouse.